So am I just shilling products and good reviews for all that sweet free gear? It's time to confess. So the main reason for this video is to talk about a change that's coming up to the channel, how it affects what you see as far as demos and things, have complete transparency about what goes on, and I also wanted to address a few really common misconceptions from a creator's standpoint about gear demos and reviews. And I also want to dispel some things because there's been some tough language thrown around on some forums like TalkBase and stuff, and I kind of want to nip it in the bud. So let's get to it. The big change is that I've started, if you watch Metal Bass Monday, you already know this, I've started a relationship with Guitar Interactive Magazine. Now what that means for the channel is that I'm going to start sharing content with them. That means that if you see a demo or review on the channel, it could very likely also be on Guitar Interactive's site and their publication. And with them, they also get a text article that goes along with it. Now, there's a couple of different ways this diversifies. Sometimes I'll do an outreach or I'll get a piece of gear or something that I want to demo for the channel, and I just do it, and they, don't really have an interest in it for the magazine or whatever, so it's going to stay on the channel. Then there's sometimes that I'll procure something on my own, they'll enjoy it, and I'll do a version for them along with an article. And then the third being sometimes they'll do an outreach or they'll have a piece of gear that they send out to me that they would like me to demo and review. And there's a difference between a demo and a review, and we'll get to that in a minute. So because of these different things, one change may be something that comes up that I want you to understand why it's in there and what you probably think it means, or what a lot of very unkind people may think it means, and what it really does. And that is, on some of my videos, you're going to see a tag, because I feel like it's the right thing to do, that will say paid promotion. What does this not mean? It does not mean that I am, one, saying anything nice about it, and I will not be, just because there is a payment involved at some point. Two, you probably won't see really bad videos from me because I just don't have the time for that crap, and we'll just reject it. And that's going to be something really important I'm going to address here in a minute too. If you have an issue about channels that don't do bad reviews or things like that, you definitely need to watch this, because there's some things you need to reconsider. The other part is that the reason there is a paid promotion on there is that if the gear gets sent to me through Guitar Interactive Magazine, even if I like it, even if I absolutely love it, and I want to do it for the channel or I share it with them, that company is not paying me. That whole deal happens through Guitar Interactive. And when that gear reaches me and I do it, Guitar Interactive does pay me to then use that content. That's where my money comes in. I'm not getting paid by whoever, pedal, processor, amp, bass maker. They're not giving me anything except a loan on the gear. And we'll talk about whether I'm getting free gear or the gear's just passing through my hands as well. But for the sake of transparency, I feel like it's the right thing to do to tell people and put that tag in there that you may have noticed on some other people's videos and content creators that says paid promotion. Because I'm sure that company will use this for promotion if they get a good demo or a good review. And I am receiving some money for my part in the time I spend creating it. So I feel that's fair. It does not affect my opinion. It does not affect whether I do the video. But I want people to know, and there's no question, whether I'm getting any kind of money out of something, because I realize that by hiding it, it makes it look worse than it is, and it could lead to a misconception that I'm hawking something and trying to convince you guys that it's a great deal or something like that, or talking nice about something. I would be more suspicious of someone who I knew was getting paid, but they weren't announcing it. So with that in mind, let's talk about the actual gear. A lot of people think that, one, I keep everything that comes through this channel. 2, that I get a lot of free stuff. On both counts, nay, nay. Sometimes I get stuff in like the trash or treasure thing. I'll go out, hunt something down, and I will put up my money to try it out because I'm genuinely curious. I want to try it out. So far, it's been great luck because I've utterly rediscovered things like American Series PV bases that now I've just absolutely fallen in love with. Found the Rudy Sarzo, the TL series, all these great bases. And a lot of that I've wound up keeping. Some stuff may come in and it's absolute garbage, and we'll find out, and I'll pass it on or junk it or whatever it is. Now, as far as some of the gear you see, I do have some relationships with some companies. One, AMT Electronics, I am an endorsed artist. I say that before anything I review of theirs. Hold that thought. I also have good relationships with brands like Tech 21 and EMG Pickups. Do I get free gear? Yes. Do I get all of it free? No. Even as an endorsed artist with someone like AMT, do I get all that gear for free? No. A lot of what you see here and a lot of the stuff that I rave about and everything, I 100% have paid for, and I have the receipts. The AMT Stonehead amp in the back of there that I'm going to be doing a review for here soon. Fantastic. Paid for it. Got the receipt. The Brick Series ambulation pedals up there. Paid for them. Got the receipts. The Tech 21 Doug Pinnock, you know I love. Paid for it. DI 2112. Paid for it. I pay for the majority of what you see in here. Do I get freebies once in a while from a company that has a B stock item, or just because, I've been working with them for a long time and they're like, hey man, it's good having you around, or, thanks for being a customer for all this time. Yes, I do on occasion. Does it mean that I give them a favorable review because of it? No, they usually give me something because they know I either already use one version of it or it's something I've already wanted and requested. And 2, some of the stuff, I don't review everything I do. So some pickups, some pedals, some amps, some things, you can see them in the background. I haven't done reviews of them. How do you know? And is it likely that that's something I got for free? Yeah. So if that destroys you, and if you just can't handle the idea that, oh, he got a pair of pickups for free or something out of all the thousands of dollars of gear sitting in here that I've reviewed honestly and with my own money, can't help you. Now, let's move on to why you don't see bad reviews or me really trash things outside of like the Trash or Treasure series on reviews. Because I have a life. I don't have time for it. Seriously. Now, the immediate reaction, and I can understand it to a certain degree, is I see a lot of people go, well, I never see a bad review on these YouTubers' channels. Everything's so awesome and everything. Makes me suspicious. Well, I can see that, but much like with studying economics, you have to understand not just the seen, but the unseen. That's because we're usually screening out the garbage and the stuff that's a waste of our time. So I understand where you might see some bias. Doesn't mean that we don't think a lot of gear is crap. And if you're on the Metal Based Mosh Pit on Facebook, the group that I started, or in my comments section, see, I'm very open with my opinions, and I'll tell some people if I just don't like something. I don't feel the need usually to rant about stuff. But, if I'm not into it, I'm not into it. And sometimes, for your playing style or something just doesn't work for you. And you understand that, hey, maybe this is a cool unit, but I'm just not the guy to make it sound good. I've seen pieces of gear that other players and other styles can make sound fantastic. I sound like a pair of army boots and a dryer trying to do it. It just doesn't work out. And so this leads us to a real bone of contention, and something that I want to make sure doesn't get tied into the initial idea too of me talking about getting paid for some of this stuff. And that is when I see a lot of guys who get this suspicion, or, they have this thing of, oh, they never talk bad about anything and they want to see bad reviews. Let's clarify this and talk about it from my and a creator's side of things, and why you don't see these. I can't speak for every channel, but I can speak for mine and some other creators that I know, why you don't see these bad reviews and what a lot of people really are asking. And this is kind of spurred on by a conversation I read in TalkBase, and it's come up a lot, and people's attitudes towards not seeing this and how they want to see the bad gear reviews. Well, let me tell you, or if you don't really get it, what you're asking of creators, and maybe we can dial this back a little bit. One, you are asking us to go out, spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of our money on a piece of gear we already know is crap. Then, especially if you do reviews like I do a performance. Actually write music to demonstrate what you think the good parts or the parts of whatever this thing is that you think should be highlighted. The performance should, push those pieces forward. Made even more difficult if you find no redeeming quality in something, because how do you write something that you just know is going to be crap because it sounds like crap? It's tedious. So, number one, you're saying write a performance that you have no interest in whatsoever, using a sound you hate through a piece of gear you have no respect for. Then get all this filmed, probably from multiple camera angles, all dialed in nice, good sound quality, all of that, because that takes no time and no money whatsoever. Then I want you to go through and talk about the unit and tell me all the reasons why it's a piece of crap. Make sure that's done nicely and, covers all the points that you want to hear and all this type of stuff. Then get this edited down, mix the audio, get it all nice and tight, get it uploaded to YouTube, do the thumbnail, do all the hashtags, do all the stuff to make sure people see it, bounce it out onto social media, put it into the forums, make sure people see it. All that time, all that money, so that you can sit there and then go, probably watch 20 seconds of it and go, oh, that's crap. Glad I didn't blow my money on it. That's some entitlement right there. I gotta be honest. I don't usually come raging out about some of the YouTube audience stuff I see and things, but this is one that as you can probably tell, kind of gets me. It's like you want us to spend thousands of dollars on things, create music, create, art, basically, with garbage, and do it all because your money is somehow worth more than ours, and our time and our work, and all the time I spend doing that video is time I'm not working on things that could be putting food on my table. So I think for some of you, you don't realize that all this is going on. And it's kind of like, oh, okay, you get to see it from another side. And then there are some people that I think are just really entitled jerks that like demanding things of people that they're never going to give anything back to. And, it's not like you're paying an admission to see this stuff. So that's why you don't see a lot of really crappy reviews on my channel. I don't have time for it. I don't have the money for it. If you really want to know what kind of gear is garbage, a little bit of wisdom from my dear old dad. When he was talking about buying cars, he said, don't read the reviews of all the ones and just stop there. He said, look at all the cars that they're not talking about. Those are the ones you need to worry about. So if you see some gear that's not getting reviewed by a lot of people, that's probably your sign. Do some basic investigation. It doesn't mean that, that company isn't paying enough to these creators, or that your special piece that you just want somebody to do a demo on, everybody's neglecting just, because it's personal to you. It usually means it's a piece of garbage and nobody wants to waste their time and their money and their life on it. That should be a sign. So for pieces from the past and things like that I feel need to be dug up, that aren't available anymore, things like that, I have that on Trash or Treasures. But this is the other piece and the final sign off the point that I want to make. I still have full administrative control over the channel and even what I do as far as Guitar Interactive. I think they're a great business, and because of that, I'm willing to link to them, and because I still have editorial control. If I get a piece of gear through them, or I have one that comes into my hands somehow, and I think it is complete crap and doesn't have a redeeming thing, I'm fully within my right to reject it and just go, I'm not the guy. I don't want to do this, can't do it. At the end of the day, what does that mean for you? If you see something and I talk positively about it on the channel, it's because I genuinely think it's worth looking into, that I genuinely enjoyed working with it. And, you know, like I said, when the gear comes from Guitar Interactive, 9 times out of 10, it also comes with that return label. I'm not keeping it unless I'm ponying up the money, which I get the feeling may happen because Daddy likes gear. But, you know, I'm getting paid if I'm doing something through that for that reason. It doesn't mean I'm getting free gear to hawk it. So to answer the big question, am I out here hawking gear for free stuff? No. Do I get paid on occasion for some of the stuff that may come to me? Yes. Will I do reviews that are positive just for payment? No. I'm not getting paid enough to do that. Trust me. So I wanted to put this out, like I said, and clarify, and I think clarify for a number of creators, because there are a lot of guys out with channels like mine doing gear reviews, doing demos, stuff like that. And I see this kind of stuff get tossed at them a lot. And while some of it I think may be valid, I think a lot of it can be somewhat unfair too. And so hopefully a little glimpse behind the scenes as to what goes on helps you out a little bit and lets you see things from the other side, and why maybe the person that only talks positively about gear or does demos and just lets you hear it and doesn't say anything either way, which you may also see sometimes, it doesn't mean that there isn't gear that they don't like. It's just we don't have a lifetime to waste on this stuff. So be kind to each other. It's a tough world out there, and the internet's ugly enough as it is. So what are your thoughts on this type of stuff? Do you think I'm making the right decision that even though I'm not getting paid by the company, that I add that paid promotion in just for complete transparency so that you know there is a payment somewhere in there, that I'm sharing with my content with someone else, that I'm allowing them to use it, and I get some remuneration for that? Hit me up in the comments down below, and other things and, you know, other sides of this maybe I haven't looked at, you'd like to ask about, I'm happy to talk about it in the comments as always. So I'll see you down there. Thanks for watching this. I hope this gives you an insight into the channel and keeps your confidence up about what you see from me. And I always appreciate the views and you guys checking in. So take care of yourself. Enjoy the upcoming reviews. I'll see you on the next ones.